Thank you for tuning in to Whose Body Am I? It's my first podcast, and the reason why I chose the title Whose Body Am I is because I myself am an organ recipient. I have received someone's liver, the largest organ in your body, and I have no idea where this organ came from, who this organ came from, who that person is, what that person was like. I know nothing. Hence the title, Whose Body Am I? I do want to give you a short episode because I had planned on telling you my story, but as I've done my recordings, my story has come out as other people have told theirs. So another reason why I want to do this is because I want to persuade people to be organ donors. And I want to persuade people that are sick to, one, get checked out early. If you feel any kind of signs of fatigue, pain, anything that feels normal, that you might not think is wrong, then that's your body telling you that you need to get checked out. Because mine started off with nothing more than just fatigue. And it started, I'd say, 2 to 4 years prior to me going to my doctor's appointment. And I just waited too late. I was shortness of breath, which I thought was asthma. My back was hurting because I'm 6'4", and just in my age, I just figured it was what came with age. I mean, my height. Just had no energy, and especially the pain, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I can describe the pain as two swords going in my back from different directions and coming out the sides in an instant. And it was hurting so much at one point that when it hit me, I would scream, and it was not a good feeling. And you don't even know when it's coming. There's no warning whatsoever. It just comes. And I want to tell you more about that pain. I will tell you that, let me go back to I will tell you that that pain was in my back because of fluid that had built up in my body. And that fluid, there were three liters that came out of my left side, 2 that came out of my left lung. That's quite a bit. And if I vaguely remember when they were doing it, removing the fluid, the person doing it was kind of shocked at how much was coming out of my body. That's where the pain was coming from. On the 24th, when I went to see the doctor, I did call my spouse, and I was like, will you come and pick me up? I can't make it to the doctor's appointment. I had no energy. I could not even make it to the car. I couldn't even get up out of the bed, and I was just needed all the help I could get. I had waited way too late. When we got to the doctor's office, when the doctor walked in, when she looked at me, she had no hesitation, and she said, you need to go to the emergency room right now. And as we were getting in the car, headed to the hospital, one of 4 that I was in, I went down. I don't remember going to the hospital. I do vaguely remember going into the emergency room. I think I was walking. I may have been in a wheelchair. I do recall looking to the right as other people were waiting. And the next thing I remember, I was in my hospital room, and I had been in there for 2 days. I was in there for a week. When I first got in there, I was told that the nurse had taken my partner outside and had told him in these very words, he is very, very, very very, very sick. And I had 3 weeks or less to live. That's how close it came. That being said, there's more of my story, like I've said, that's going to come out with the other stories that I have recorded. I do have a guy that's in my sphere of people that we have been on Zoom calls with Duke. He is the liver recipient. Scott, who is the first guy's Chuck. Scott is a bone marrow transplant, and he is NFL quarterback, the Miami Dolphins and the Broncos. Then we have Dale, who is bone marrow, and I think I got Scott's right. Yeah. Anyway, you'll see these videos as the recordings are released. I just want to make sure I got those right. I've got some more recordings coming up, but you'll see them. Stay tuned. But today, I'm making this one short. I did have Duke call and ask me to speak at a conference. I want to read that speech to you first, and then I want to read the letter that I wrote to my donor family and share that with you. As we are allowed to reach out to our donor families, but we're not allowed to know who they are. There's a third party that comes involved that we write our letters or send our cards to. Is Honor Bridge. Honor Bridge reads over everything to make sure that it's okay to send to the families. We are given a notice that the families have received our information, and they have a choice to reach out to us. I hope one day I get to meet mine. This is the speech that I wrote when Duke asked me to speak at the conference that was in August, and I want to share that with you with this episode. Make sure I have it all correct. Okay. As I was celebrating the 1-year anniversary of my liver transplant, when midday it hit me, without realizing it, I was unknowingly celebrating the death of my donor. It offered a different perspective of the idea of a celebration of life, how we often refer to the observation of a fellow human being's passing. I won't go as far to say that the mental strain I have experienced outweighs the physical, because it doesn't. It's extraordinary. Learning how to walk again, the pain of just sitting up, and even just breathing. I'll never forget the day they wanted to teach me about the BLT sandwich. Don't bend, don't lean, and don't twist. And it became very clear how important it was to remember that until it became the natural way that I moved. I'm not sure for how long or how many times I was told those instructions, but I do remember that process began after being tied to my bed for I have no long of an idea. I do try to explain to people how I perceive myself differently now. This body of mine has a mind of its own. I just happen to be living in it. Every day this liver, and I've said before, it's hard for me to call this liver my liver, as it's someone else's, but every day this liver, and I should say my liver, but it's not, it's someone else's. Every day this liver keeps me alive, but my body is constantly attacking it. And there's nothing I can do about it, except take expensive medications, which I refer to as my ball and chain, that I have to take for the rest of my life. Now, I started off with around 68 medications a day. Now I'm down to, I think, 28. And, my better half does medications for me. So therefore, that's why I'm giving you not for sure how many I take, but it's a lot and it's expensive. And so let me get back that I have to take for the rest of my life, these medications. And for the rest of my life, I will continue the battle with this liver. I do want to tell you about the moment that I met Dr. Collins, my surgeon. He walked into my hospital room and I thought, oh, another doctor. Because by this point, I'd had 3 different teams of doctors and maybe 12 or 13 by this point, and I had met so many. And God, what little did I know. He walked in, and I think I may have said, how are you doing? And he replied to me, no, how are you doing? I said, I'm fine, but check out this scar. This looks so fabulous. And I pulled my shirt up, and my scar goes from this side all the way over to this side. And I said, check out this scar. This looks so fabulous. I was so taken by how good it looked. I said, whoever did this did a great job. And he said, I did that. And I'll never forget it, because as soon as he said it and I put a face to the person that did the work that saved my life, it brought me to tears. It's just bringing me to tears right now, because it was a moment that I'll never forget. At that very moment, my attention went from this mark on the outside of me that represented this life-changing and life-saving procedure to the inside of me, straight to my heart. And I want to thank Dr. Collins for doing such a great job. That being said, I want to share the letter that I wrote to my donor family. And I haven't heard from them, and I hope one day I will. And hear all about this person that's inside of me, keeping me alive. First of all, I'd like to send my condolences to you and the family as you have lost a loved one. I hope this letter helps ease the pain of your loss. After weeks, if not months, of dismissing signs of weakness and shortness of breath and abrupt pain, I saw my doctor and was immediately rushed to the ER where I was admitted. I thought at the time that I may have had pneumonia, but I was told I had a kidney failure and my liver wasn't functioning. The doctor got my kidneys working back to normal, but I was in dire need of a liver. My case was severe, as I had 3 weeks or less. On May 18th, I became the recipient of your family member's liver that was so kindly donated. That decision of being an organ donor gave me life, and I am and will ever be so grateful. Forever will I be. 52 days in the hospitals and 8 hours of surgery. I'm recovering. The scar goes from my left side all the way to my right, and I think of my donor as I feel it and see it every day. I refer to my new scar as my birthmark, and I send much gratitude to you and your loved one. Thank you. Thank you ever so much.